For the months of May and June, we'll be giving away 50,000 IOST tokens, along with 3 Ledger Nanos, 2 of them sponsored by Nimic, and 1 special edition Ledger Nano with an on-the-go kit. Winners announced July 1st. To enter, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on every video in May and June for your maximum number of entries. Hey Bit Squad, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one crypto that has absolutely failed. We're going to be looking at another that is having centralization problems, and we're also going to be looking at the IRS man coming for your money. So before we get to all that though, let's go ahead and jump into the markets. Market Watch. All right, guys, so right now the market cap is $251 billion. Bitcoin dominance coming in at 56.5%. We have Bitcoin up about 2%, over $8,000. When we look at biggest winners of the day, we will see that Bitcoin SV is up really big. Zilliqa, Holochain, Newton, and Chainlink. Chainlink has been pumping out of control lately. But here's the thing with the Bitcoin SV. As you guys can see, it's up 67%. It did have basically a flash pump, come back down soon. Why is this? Well, once again, it's all manipulation. You have 2 guys that are super rich behind this project. They're manipulating the price to make it go up, to make it appear as if this news that came out today regarding Craig Wright being Satoshi made people all of a sudden super confident and buy in. Basically, there was a copyright patent that was granted by a U.S. official to Craig Wright for the Bitcoin white paper, you know, that he was the person that wrote it. Well, that was just a $35 registration. Literally anybody could have done that. So, you know, once again, they're trying to show like proof, but yet it's not actual proof. We all know the simplest thing to show the proof would just be, hey, move some of those Bitcoins in those, you know, original wallets, and he refuses to do it. So that's why it's pumping today. Then we have on the biggest loss of the day, we have Matic Network down 10%, Insight Chain, Augur, Zcash, and Mixin. Number 5. So we're going to be looking at some kind of negative stories about crypto today. So I want to do one positive one where, you know, we're reminded of what can happen with Bitcoin. So, and I'm going to give you guys some encouraging news for the future. So when Bitcoin reached $8,000 in 2017, it reached $18,000 within 20 days. You can see that on this chart. This is when a lot of the money in crypto was made between November 11th and December 21st. That was when Cardano got a huge pump. So many things pumped absolutely huge during that time. And, you know, this is what I want to tell you. So this is very interesting, I thought. If you're looking at the price of Bitcoin as compared to the previous all-time high figure to figure out where we're at in the cycle, we're somewhere around $459 or late 2015. So what does that mean? Well, if you go back to late 2015, leading into the pump of 2017, it was a slow and steady gain for a long time. It went from, I believe, I can't remember exactly where it was. I think around $250, $300, somewhere in that range. And it paced itself up until it got to about $2,000, and then it absolutely just skyrocketed. So, you know, I think we'll see that again. And if you're in the crypto community right now, this is super exciting to think about because, you know, we've been in a bear market for so long, and it was so negative. It was so harsh. It was a long bear winter. And if we can just have multiple years where we're moving up slowly, and then eventually we get that parabolic move upwards, you know, this is going to be a good time to be in crypto. There's going to be a lot of positive sentiment and a lot of good things coming out of it. So, you know, definitely want to encourage you guys on that and just say, you know, we're early in this cycle. I don't think it's going to move to $18,000 tomorrow, but just a reminder that it can happen. It can go parabolic, you know, when you're least suspecting it. Number 4. Okay, guys, so for our number 4 story, we're actually going to be doing a sponsored story here from YouHodler. Now, this is actually related to the last story, if you think about it, because like I said, you know, Bitcoin makes these big moves when you're least expecting it. And when that happens, you know, you want to keep all of your money in Bitcoin or in your crypto. You don't want to have to pull it out because, you know, you might have to pull out, let's say $1,000. Like let's say you have one full Bitcoin and it's worth $8,000 right now. and you're like, man, I really don't want to pull out this $1,000, but I have to. I had an unexpected car repair, and I don't have any more money in savings. This is all my money in savings. So I may not be the most responsible thing, but I can relate. So you take $1,000 out of Bitcoin. So that would be 1/8, so 0.125 Bitcoin. Well, think about it. If Bitcoin goes up to $100,000, which most people in crypto believe that it will for sure, most believe it will on this next run, then that's $12,500 that you just took out. You didn't just take out $1,000. And so, there has to be a way for you to be able to hold on to your crypto and also get that money. And that's where YouHodler comes in because, lending platforms, I'm just gonna say this, lending platforms have been something on the channel that I have talked a lot about. There's a lot of scams out there. There are a lot of them that are not going to give you your money back. You have Salt, which they have had so many problems with, ETHLend or ETHLend, however you want to say it, so many problems with those. I would never advocate for those on the channel. However, YouHodler is a pretty reputable company, and not only that, but they actually have the highest loan value, 90%. So let's just say you wanted to take out that 1.25 Bitcoin. Can I type the number in here? I can. How about that? 0.125. So you could actually keep that Bitcoin, get YouHodler to loan you. You can see the number here, $902 for that 0.125 Bitcoin. And then when you pay it back, you get the Bitcoin back. Or, I'm sure it's kind of like in a third-party holding place, probably in a smart contract. I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, so you can get 90% of that value. And I'll tell you, if you've looked around, I've actually done a lot of research on crypto loan, crypto lending platforms, because I in the past I've been very skeptical of many of them. And 90% is way better than you are going to get anywhere. And so when it says highest loan to value ratio, they're not kidding about this. This is 100% correct. And like I said, this is a reputable company. This is not, a fly-by-night thing. This is not an ICO. We have a lot of different stories about them that have been written you can go check out. So, I'd really encourage you guys to look into this, because as the price starts to go up, you're going to hit a moment at some point where you might want to pull some of that out for a need, like maybe you want to renovate your house or whatever. So just a few more things here. You can get up to $30,000 in cash. It has the highest loan to value ratio. Instant payments in the euro, US dollar, or Tether, stablecoins, bank wire, and credit cards. All major cryptos as collateral. Buy and sell crypto for fiat. Convert crypto to crypto on the platform. So guys, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about YouHodler, if it's something that you would possibly use. I'll put their website link down below in the video description if you want to check it out. So definitely a cool platform, and something that if you get in a pinch, I would suggest, not financial advice, of course, I would suggest if you're going to look into, getting a loan or lending or things like that, the YouHodler would be your first choice, because like I said, I feel like it is pretty legitimate. Number 3. All right, Taxman coming for your money, but maybe not as bad as we thought. So it says, IRS tells Congress it will soon publish new digital asset tax guidance for the first time since 2014. And basically what, they're saying here is that, the spaces continue to develop. So it says, as noted in your letter, we issued notice 2014-21, which stated that virtual currency is treated as property, and existing tax principles applicable to property transactions apply to virtual currency transactions. Since that time, the virtual currency as a medium of exchange and investment has continued to develop. So, I think this is actually a positive sign. I'm dreading doing my taxes. I haven't done my taxes yet. I'm not doing them until October. And, it's going to be a nightmare. And I'm hoping that, by next year, we will have a new policy, a new way, a less confusing, regulatory process we have to go through in order to figure out what the heck we're supposed to do on taxes in terms of crypto. There's a lot of good companies out there that help with that. You can look them up. We've had, we talked about some on the channel before, but it needs to be less confusing, and it's positive at least that we are seeing the IRS seeing this and recognizing it, and maybe for next year we will have some different rules to go by. Number 2. Maybe Stellar's not as decentralized as many people believe. People often think of Stellar as the cousin to Ripple, the decentralized version of Ripple, if you will. And, the Ripple people, the people that are adamant about Ripple, they will tell you, of course, they say they're not decentralized. And they say that Ripple, or that Stellar is actually the centralized party. Now, the only people that believe that Ripple is not centralized are the people in Ripple. However, I believe that probably most people in Stellar, also think that it's very decentralized. And the fact is it's not, and we just got this proven to us. So the Stellar blockchain went completely offline for 67 minutes. This was the quote. "The halt wasn't because Stellar's consensus protocol failed. In fact, it worked as intended." It's pretty scary. "For a system like Stellar, a temporary halt is preferable to the permanent confusion of a fork. But yesterday shows that Stellar needs better tooling around uptime. We need better status monitoring for validators, and it needs to be easier to restart a validator after it goes down." Now, it basically happened because they said there were a lot of new nodes that were, pulling too much of the network, and they wanted to put a stop to it, and they did. That's the very definition of centralized. And so here's the thing, guys. Do I believe that, Stellar is a terrible project and it's some, super centralized money grab and all this stuff? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they have good intentions for what they're trying to do, but let's just be real about what we are. And, there are many different projects out there that claim to be decentralized, but can do things like this, and that's not truly decentralized. Now, if it's kind of like, training wheels, like to eventually get them to a more decentralized place, then, we can be patient for that. But a network shutting down its whole network for, the sake of any reason, it affects the people on that network, So the people that are users on the system and things like that, they're the ones that actually lost. So it says, whatever the truth may be, the biggest losers in such case are the users who are ultimately affected with shutdowns, no matter if centralized or decentralized. So, for those of you who are, adamant, about the decentralization movement, and you're not in it for the money or whatever it might be, of course, I'm sure you like money too. Stellar is one that right now just proved it's not decentralized. Hold up, it's time for an IOST break. Okay, guys, we talk a lot on the channel about making our crypto work for us. And this is one way to do that with your IOST. So Leibi Pool now live, first DeFi project on IOST. If you don't know what DeFi is, it means decentralized finance. It's kind of like fintech, financial technologies. It's a new buzzword a lot of people are using. Now, Leibi is definitely a very recognized node on the IOST system. People know their team. It's a very, very good or very reputable project. And so this is how you do this. So it's a new generation of proof-of-stake mining pool developed by the team, and what it has its own token. So it is VOST, as you guys can see right there. It's a token released by the team. It is decentralized, no lockup requirements, and automatic dividends. That's how you earn, guys. Dividends on your crypto are absolutely huge. If you can just sit your crypto somewhere and gain money on it, in a legitimate way, as opposed to something like BitConnect, where it says lock your coins up and then you'll make 100% gains. You're not going to get 100% gains, but you will earn, and over time that money definitely adds up. I've definitely done that with TronBet, and I can say I definitely made a lot of Tron on TronBet. So you can do it right now. You can do it using Token Pocket. All you got to do is go to Token Pocket to the Explorer, click on the IOST dApps page, and then you can get into the pool. You can exchange your IOST for VOST, and you can start earning today. So kind of exciting to see that IOST has some dApps and some projects that are really making moves right now. The number one crypto story of the day. Okay, guys, the Petro is dead. So the Venezuelan Petro, which was a stablecoin pegged to the value of their gold, diamonds, and oil supply, was basically dead on arrival, but now it is over. They're having to look at other options. Now, why did they have this stablecoin? Well, what they were trying to do is use it for, trade or, for international payments and things like that. Basically to get to other countries to work with them, since their own currency is absolutely worthless. People make, like decorations and purses and all kinds of stuff. If you want to go buy an ice cream, you'd have to have probably 3 wheelbarrows full. That's why crypto in general has actually been, pretty good in Venezuela on the black market. You're not allowed to trade crypto there, but people have been using it, to trade for eggs and food and things like that. So that's one kind of cool thing that's came out of the story. But really in this story, no one is a winner. So, what Venezuela is having to do now is try to figure out another way, another monetary system, because their currency is dead. Now the Petro is dead. So what they're actually looking at is working with Russia to use their ruble, or maybe get a currency backed on their ruble or something like that. Russian officials have said that they are, that they're not 100% sure that it's going to happen, but right now it does seem like that is the most likely scenario. Now, how bad is the Venezuelan crisis, the economic collapse? In the last 45 years, it is the worst financial collapse we've seen outside of countries like Afghanistan and absolute war, and when Iraq was in war and things like that. Zimbabwe, I don't know if you guys remember when that fell. This is worse than even that. So it is very sad for the people. My heart goes out to the people that are there because, they're caught in a very, very bad situation. It's very unfortunate. And, for the people of the country, we certainly hope that something happens. And honestly, I believe that someone is going to have to intervene there, and it's probably the United States. Somebody is going to have to intervene, or else the people of that country are going to be absolutely destroyed. They already have rolling blackouts and all kinds of things. It's very, very sad. So, we would definitely hope for the people that something is going to help, but it definitely was not the Petro. So that's all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. BitBoy out.